on the U.S. Iran conflict. Now, in the latest breaking news updates, we're getting in reports claiming Gulf states like Kuwait and Bahrain have launched a joint strike operation against Iran. Eyewitnesses on the ground in Kuwait report missile launches, signaling new front in the war. These are the latest developments that are coming in. Viewers, let's remind you once again, we're looking at an escalation in the conflict between U.S. and Iran. Now, as per reports, Gulf states have also launched joint operations. Brian Thomas is joining us on this to take us through how the Gulf states are planning to retaliate amidst this escalation. Brian.
Well, yes, clearly the very conflict in the Middle East now appears to be entering a dangerous new phase with even sources also reports claiming that Gulf nations believed to be Kuwait and Bahrain have joined a coordinated military operation against Iran. Very well you mentioned, yes, eyewitnesses in Kuwait reportedly observed missile launches, although neither Kuwait and Bahrain has clearly stated as of now about the direct military involvement, but even though they were giving many such advisories to their publics via notification via phone. Now, very importantly, it's also marks the first time Gulf states have openly participated in military operations against Iran during the current conflict. And clearly, if we talk about the MOU also, the MOU lasted for just 20 days. Then post that US started attacking Iran, and then there was a retaliation of Iran. And very importantly, this development also come amid this very rising, escalating hostilities between both Iran and US, and even Israel playing a very important role. Even though, yes, Qatar, even the Pakistan and Qatar have been, saying about, a negotiation that should be underway, but clearly that looks very, very, very difficult also at this point of time. Not only that, analysts are also warning that the involvement of additional regional countries could also significantly widen the conflict, increasing the risk of retaliatory strike that is going on across the Gulf, threatening energy infrastructure, global shipping routes, because clearly yesterday also Iran clearly stated that they are closing the Strait of Hormuz, so that is also becoming extremely volatile. We are also seeing rises in crude oil prices, Brent oil prices are also seen an increase. So clearly all the, globally also, the situation looks extremely volatile at this point of time.
Right, Brian, stay on with me. We're getting in some more updates on this. Viewers, Iran has launched missile and drone attacks on U.S. military infrastructure in Bahrain, Kuwait and Qatar after fresh U.S. strikes on Iran's southern and eastern provinces put a 3-week-old ceasefire under severe strain. Brian, do take us through the damage that has been caused because of these strikes and the retaliation so far.
Well, yes, very rightly mentioned that Iran has definitely launched missile and drone targeting U.S. military infrastructure in Bahrain, Kuwait and Qatar following fresh wave of American strikes on Iranian military targets. Tehran described the attacks as retaliation for U.S. strikes on southern Lebanon and southern and eastern Iran. Now, very importantly, after the funeral ceremony is done of Ayatollah Khamenei, IRGC is also supposedly are planning to retaliate in a stronger way. Even though Washington has said its operation was aimed at protecting freedom of navigation after recent attacks on commercial shipping in the Strait of Hormuz. Now they are saying that they are trying to protect the freedom of the shipping routes in the Strait of Hormuz. But Iran, on the other hand, you can see the retaliation getting stronger and stronger as what we are speaking. This action has effectively also shattered the fragile 20-day ceasefire just lasted, like I was mentioning, and also pushed the recent closure to a broader military confrontation. Even posed that air defense systems were also activated across the Gulf with several incoming missiles, drones reportedly intercepted. Eyewitness seeing all of those happening, and this also raised concerns about oil supplies, commercial shipping, and even security of U.S. Military bases across the very region. Yes, Preeti.
Right, Brian, stay on. Another update coming in. Now, confirmations of strikes on Konark County in Sistan and Balochistan province of Iran has come. The governor of Konark announced that 2 explosions occurred in a military zone belonging to the Iranian Navy in the county. He said the area was targeted by enemy fighter jets in 2 separate attacks on the evening of July 9. Brian, also take our viewers through what role is Israel playing in this re-escalation now?
Well, see, if you talk about the volatility that is going on between U.S, Iran, and Israel also coming in the forefront, Israel is extremely now dedicated towards the conflict that it has been maintaining with Lebanon at this point of time. There is conversation that there can be a mediation efforts with southern Lebanon. But yes, talking about Konar County, yes, there was an attack confirming Iranian authorities have confirmed that Konarak, rather, county in Sistan and Balochistan province came under fresh attacks. The governor of Konarak also said 2 explosions occurred inside a military zone belonging to the Iranian Navy after enemy fighter jets carried out 2 separate strikes. Emergency teams were rushed to those areas as officials began assessing the damage. And again, very importantly, Konak lies close to the strategically important Gulf of Oman, as even is emerged as one of rather several coastal locations targeted in this latest round of attacks. These strikes also form a part of a wider campaign that also hit Bandar Abbas earlier and Shabwar, significantly increasing pressure on Iran's military and maritime infrastructure. And very importantly, U.S. President Donald Trump is also extremely confident, where he was speaking in Ankara, that if Iran attacks them, then they would be attacking 20 times more. And they're pretty confident that they have literally destroyed their bases. And also to the fact that how U.S. is confident about attacking Iran and how they are winning this escalation that has been going on. So there are many such angles, many such different subplots also that is taking place between these hostile countries. Yes.
Right, Brian, stay on. Another final update on the war so far. Viewers, Qatar has condemned Iran's reported attacks on Jordan, Bahrain and Kuwait as Gulf tensions, of course, escalate. The Qatar Ministry of Foreign Affairs has issued a statement calling the strikes a blatant violation of sovereignty and a flagrant breach of international law. Qatar also called upon Iran to continue on the path of dialogue and uphold the Memorandum of Understanding recently signed with the United States. Brian, once again, if you can take us through how this fresh re-escalation has happened and which side launched the attack first.
Well, see, after the MOU was signed and everything was done, the US started, it happened 2 days back, 2 to 3 days back rather, when US started attacking on Iran bases, especially Bandar Abbas with the Kishar Island. And then obviously Iran said, that they would be launching major escalation. Even MB Ghalib also, Iran's ministry, said that they are vowing to destroy Iran, to destroy US itself. And even yesterday also in Ankara, US have been saying that there is a risk that US president is the #1 target of Iran. And also Israel, on the other hand, giving an intel that US president is in a risk at this point of time, because obviously Iran have been targeting US president, would be rather targeting the US president. Now, yes, talking about Qatar, yes, Qatar has also strongly condemned Iran's reported missiles and drone attacks on Jordan, Bahrain and Kuwait, calling these strikes a dangerous escalation. And even Doha urged all parties to exercise maximum restraint and return to diplomatic engagement before the conflict spreads further across the globe. Very important, Gulf rather. The statement also comes as several Gulf countries remain on high alert following repeated launches, air defense interception. Regional leaders continuing to warn that further escalation could disrupt international trade and will be expose civilian aviation across one of the world's most strategically important regions. So there are many consequences if this escalation again exceeds and expands to a major number. Yes.
Brian, thank you very much for joining us on this. Stay on. Don't leave us just yet, viewers. Let's move ahead. Another update.